We have Rohan Muralidharan. He did the cinematography of it. That's Saurav. He is the producer. He also played a character called Bharani in the film. That's okay. So that's Oridud. He's the editor, and that's Varun. He played one of the characters in the film. Um, Apart from that, we also have Sangeet somewhere. Sangeet, Amblin, Hari, Rohit, so many people who worked on the film. Alan, Hari, yeah, that's it, no?
I'll just begin with an introductory question. Can you tell us how this whole thing began? What's the origin of the story? How did you develop it? How did you end up making it?
So the origin, I don't really remember now.
I also have to say that he wrote this when he was 16, shot it when he was 20 or...
Yeah. So I keep telling people that I wrote this when I was 16.
Okay.
And in my head, I thought people would think, oh, he's
Genius.
so cool, you know? But when you watch it, it's quite apparent that a 16-year-old wrote it. I don't, you know. But yeah, so I wrote the script when I was 16. And about a year later, I told about this to my friends. They were actually more excited for this than me, which is how the producers came in. And they put in a lot of money, and after another year we got to shooting, and we spent another year in post-production. So so that's how it.
Did you write the whole thing, or was there an element of improvisation involved?
So I wrote a script, and once we got to rehearsals, we spent 3 months rehearsing this film, and I guess the problem with improv is that everyone sort of sounds the same. You get a lot of you get a lot of all of those things. So you can see that, but then also I was able to, I don't know, get make the characters more funny, or land more jokes once the actors came in, and then they started to make their own lines.
Can you tell us more about the lead character? I mean, it seems to be, I mean, we see that he's, stuck with his landline. It's almost as if he's not moving on from his past or whatever, right? Everyone sort of moved on, and he sort of wants to come back to whatever he used to do. And it also seems to be set in like a specific Gen Z open mic music scene in Kochi. Is that so? I mean, how did that come about to the story?
I think after going to all of these places like IFFK and like showing the film to a wider audience, we realized that this is just about like the 6 people we know, and it's not necessarily like a whole subculture or like a counterculture even. And so I think this film being set in 2019, it's more than it. Like when we thought about it, it really mattered that this film took place before COVID, because like I guess we wanted like a sense of like, oh, there's something coming up after this that sort of changes the way you socialize, especially the way like kids our age or like the people in this film socialize. I think we are a generation that is very much identity oriented, as in every single social media site that we sign up for, the first thing they ask you is in your bio, like you have to describe who you are, what you are, your pronouns, all of these things. And at the end of the day, most of the time you're just thinking about yourself. I guess even Gabriel is someone like that. He's very selfish. He's very selfish in a way where he thinks that he's not being selfish, which is the worst kind of selfish, So yeah, and also like initially in the script, Gabriel was supposed to be like a charming person, which is why a lot of people sort of put up with his stuff. But when Ahad came along, we realized that's not possible. Not because that sounds mean, but if I can explain, Ahad was. What I mean is, Ahad can do this type of role better than a charming person.
I mean, you're glad he's not here today.
Yeah. but we got what we wanted, and Ahad is very happy with it. He told all of us. So,
And how do you go about, shooting it, creating images, especially when you are doing this open mic thing? Do you go and seek for such something specific? And how is your collaboration with your cinematographer? If both of you can chip
I
in.
think with this crew, it's only during production, as in during the shoot, where more people started coming in. For pre-production, it was mainly just me, Rohan, and Ren, who played Don. He was also an associate director. Basically, what would happen is that they come to my house in the morning. I'd show like a scene from like an Altman movie or like a PTA movie, and I'll be like, "Do this, let's do this. You do the shot like this." And I never thought about how they did it, or I just delegated my work to them. So that's how it came about. Do you wanna?
And Rohan, is it easy if he just shows you Altman and PTA, or is it difficult?
It was new. I've never worked with I haven't worked with a lot of directors, but it was the first time someone who had explicit references, not just for the images or the visuals, but also the entire feeling of a film, like how the characters speak, the feeling of being in a live world, like all of that. I understood what kind of film he was trying to make because of these references, not specifically just the images. So that kind of informed me, I think, a bit more than just the images. So yeah, it was definitely helpful in that regard. But also, in talking about in the visual aspect, it was really, I had a great place to pull from, like a great, not just even though he puts it in that sense, it wasn't like I want this, just copy this. It wasn't never like that. We shared a sense of love for the 70s American cinema. He had, I was introduced to it through him, and I also, through him, I got into it as well. Like he said, Altman and there's a PTA is there. Cassivities, all those American independent cinema filmmakers, and how their images, have this energy and this life of the community around them, especially Cassivities. So yeah, those kind of things were really informed because of these movies, and the visual side of it. It was mostly, I was inspired by Boogie Nights specifically, I guess. I got to know that when we started shooting. So the thing with this film was, we didn't really fix on a specific look. We just had this collection of references and ideas and looks that we liked, especially analog film look. And yeah, from these this pool, I made the lighting plans, and we chose to use the anamorphic lens for filming the whole film. That was a big decision because we just had two lenses. Only two lenses were available in Kochi, just the 35 and 50. So it was a big decision, and all of that was informed by that specific era of American cinema. And I feel like we pulled it together in a sense that it feels refreshing in set in a Kochi space. So yeah, that was how the ideation part of it came through. So yeah.
And to the editor, I mean, did you just get pulled in because he's your brother, or?
I mean, yeah. So when Cyril showed me the script for the film, I read the first page and told him, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. It's just something didn't click with me. It just felt too superficial. I don't know. I don't know. I think I got the wrong idea of it. And even when we started editing it, I had some issues like connecting with what kind of humor this had. But the more we worked on this footage, I got a better understanding of the kind of humor that we were going on. And once we got an idea for that, it was a lot more easier. So, yeah.
And since you're also an AD in the film, is that easier? Is that difficult for you to edit? Because you've been part of it from the beginning.
Yeah.
Is it very different from, someone giving you a hard drive and say, edit this?
I think maybe it's a me problem, but I think it's a horrible idea that I worked on the film. Because when I work on the film, I just think about like how it was shot. And it's like, now, so normally when you edit, all the decisions have been already made for you. If a footage is like that, it's like that. You can't do much. I mean, like you work with that. I work with that kind of restriction. But then when you're working with a film, you know how it was shot. And then there are these, it's more of a me problem, where like I think about how it was shot, and that kind of hinders me to like see it more objectively, because in the end of the day, when a person watches the film, they watch it with no prejudgments. They just go as it is. So a lot of issues that we see aren't like actual issues. So I had some issues, time adjusting to that also.
And we do have a few producers today, right? Like, what is producing in a film like this? In an independent film, producer also takes up multiple roles and does everything. And you're acting as well to some extent, right?
Yeah, I think everyone does in independence that everyone's doing everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what a producer does actually. I put in money with my friends who are there. I convinced them. There's actually the main producer for the film is Albin Kottaram. He's not here right now.
Okay.
So it's not very different from I don't know how real producers work. But we've been there. We've known each other and we've known this. We've been part of this community, so everyone kind of knows everyone. Everyone knows what's on their mind. Everyone knows what the other person is planning. So it was kind of like we were always there with him, with each other. So it didn't feel really alien to me. I was not very interested in acting, but he convinced me to.
Okay.
How
How was that? Did you have to like follow a script, or you could do whatever
There
you
was a
wanted?
script. There was a script. There were many rehearsals where I was acting with Rengan, who's a dear friend. So it was very easy to do that. Rehearsals were more fun than the actual shoot in that regard, because we would, like he said, improvise and say all that, and he would cut that out. But because it was with Rengan and because it was among them, I found it very easy. I don't know. I don't act a lot, so it was fun for me.
Yeah. Any questions? We can open it up if anyone has any question.
Cyril. So his name is obviously Gabriel, right? That's a name. Why do people call him Grindset?
So Grindset Gabriel is sort of like his stage name. We don't really specify what he was doing before the events of the film. But whatever he did, he went by the name Grindset Gabriel, and he's clearly embarrassed of the name Grindset. So he doesn't refer to himself as Grindset, and he doesn't like people referring to him as Grindset. So he sort of cringes. It's like a past thing, not me anymore, sort of thing. So yeah, his name is Gabriel. Thanks.
Yeah. Hi. I just wanted to ask what the base writing process was like from scratch. How do you go about working on material like this? I don't know, accounting for how people are going to perceive the way comedy is put out. It's a pretty difficult thing to sit and write comedy for me, and I'm curious to see how you went about doing it.
See, the problem is I wish I could tell you the answer. I didn't think of any of those things that you were asking me. I didn't think of a process. There was no material. There was no how are people gonna watch this? How are they gonna find it funny? I didn't think of any of those things. And I think there's a lot of negatives to that. I think that makes the film sort of a little bit inaccessible, but also it gives you this like unknowing sense of like fearlessness where you just feel like you can do whatever you want and people will just find it funny. But the fact that did you guys find the film funny? Yeah, that's good, right? You know, and yeah. So I went. So I guess I went in with that. I think the only thing was just be honest with what you're writing. Just try not to think of like you can obviously think of like the people who are gonna watch it, but also if what you're putting out isn't honest, then it's not really worth if people like it or not, because you yourself aren't satisfied with what you've written. Yeah, I just feel really bad because I can't answer your questions like that.
Thank you so
Do you guys have something to say? No? You want to say something, Varun? No? Okay.
Yeah.
So the title Watusi Zombie, it's the name of the song that plays in the beginning of the film when he's dancing. Um, I named it Watusi Zombie because it had a W and a Z, and I thought that was cool. And I think it made the film title memorable. I feel like a lot of people see the name Watusi Zombie and think, oh, okay. Yeah. And also these things that we have given you, it's so, actually we planned to give you guys zines that had like BTS photos. So I made a zine. It's this one. Made a zine, but I went to print it out. And after, like, that guy spent like an hour or so setting up on his machine. And after printing it out, he said, okay, that'll be 57,652. That was the initial budget of the film, you know. And yeah, so I said I'll be back day after tomorrow, and I came to back. Yeah. So if you scan the QR code behind, you'll see like BTS photos, and you see like what the setup is like, what the general. It looks a lot happy on that, but it, you know, yeah.
What was the main? What was the main inspiration for the soundtrack? Like, I know visually you said that 70s American films was your base, and it could be the soundtrack too. But were there any other influences for that? For like the soundtrack,
Okay.
yeah.
So think about the soundtrack. I didn't really think of so going into the film being set in Kerala, or the film being about whatever it is. I didn't really look for inspirations there because this does not really reflect the soundscape of like Kerala or even India in general. And I sort of like had the songs, pre-decided in my head, write it and wrote it into the script. And it was all, I was listening to a lot of like surf rock, even Watusi Zombie, the song is a surf rock song. A lot of like very grunge guitar, a lot of Link Ray. And yeah, it's just what I was listening to at that point. And I guess it sort of seeped into the film, and it got to a point where I couldn't think of this film in a way without these songs. So if we didn't use these songs, we would possibly be able to sell the film. And get back whatever money we spent. But in my opinion, if we use different songs, it just won't be the same film again. So yeah, don't do that though. So you don't do it, I'll do it. Yeah.
Wait, it's okay. Calm down. We can fix this, okay? I'll fix this.
And also, what do you think about when people bring up your age? I think he's one of the youngest to show film in a competition section in IFFK or something. Does that feel good? Does that feel bad when people bring up age?
Feels very good.
Okay.
It feels incredibly like I I don't even know how to explain it. I mean, this is like my life now. Like this is like the defining thing. Like as in, I study in Mumbai, and I get even like, although it only happened thrice, I got recognized thrice, which is great, And yeah, most of the time, I like to say that I don't like it to define my work, because really after a point, I do want the conversation to get past the fact that I'm 20 or he's 21 or he's whatever, and just because I feel like it also creates a sense of bias. It also creates a sense of like, because a lot of the places where we have screened or like shown the film to, and we get a lot of these patronizing comments. They're like, oh yeah, you should do it like this. And they give advice rather than feedback. So that's the whole side of that. But then also, like, that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. But when I'm in like just when I'm still in college and I get to travel with my film, I get to show it in Bangalore, I get to show it in Trivandrum, I get to show it to an international audience, and there's a sense of legitimacy to it. So I guess overall it's like a beneficial thing.
Great. Any more questions? I guess we can close then.
Yes. Thank you guys for coming.
We'll close that. I mean, we'll close this screening with this, and another round of applause for the team. And